Hey, Bulls and Bears, how are we doing? It is Sunday, and today's a nice, cloudy day here in my neck of the woods in San Diego. And look at my complexion. I get sunburned in 10 minutes. I love cloudy days. So I'm a happy camper. We got a little rain yesterday. So things are nice here. And my health, I'm going to talk about that here in a few minutes. I've had some skin issues, and this ties in with financial news. I'm going to talk about my allergies, my skin issues, and what I've done here. And I want to thank one of my viewers, and we're going to do that here in a few minutes. But first, let's talk about consumer spending. And as we all know, people are strapped out. 70+% of the population is in the most debt they've ever been in their entire lives. And we know that about 70 to 75% live paycheck to paycheck, even prior to the health crisis. We've got consumer numbers out here. Where are consumers cutting back? Well, just what we expected here. The number one area people are cutting back, it's restaurants. And this comes out of all market summits. And 45% where people are cutting back is consumers not going to restaurants, not dining out. 44% groceries. Wow. So hopefully people consuming less non-essential food items like the junk food, which I'm guilty of every once in a while. I love those Reese's peanut butter cups. I'm telling you, those are my weakness. And that could be one of the things with my allergies. I'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Clothing, shoes, and accessories, 40%. These people going out buying $100 shoes, $80 pairs of pants. It's not necessary. You may look cool. If you can afford to do that, more power to you, by the way. But I try to not spend too much on groceries, or clothing. Trying to eat more healthy, basic foods, cooking more stuff at home, clothing, basic clothes. Nothing fancy, just H&M. This is on sale. But actually, I had to buy my first $100 pair of shoes, and that is because my foot doctor, when I broke my foot, remember I was on that scooter for a while and I had this big boot because I twisted my ankle so bad. Well, I had to buy these shoes called New Balance, and they were my podiatrist, my foot doctor recommended them. And my last month of healing, instead of being in the boot, I wore these shoes. It was like the New Balance 900 series shoes, and they were like $80, so not quite $100, but that was the most expensive shoes I've ever bought in my life. And that was only because my foot doctor said, hey, these are good shoes. They're sturdy. They're okay to walk on, and they're running shoes, so they have better foot support than most shoes. So that's why I bought those. But a lot of people go out and buy those shoes not for medical reasons, just because they look cool. Not New Balance, but just expensive shoes in general. And again, if that's your thing, if that's what makes you happy, more power to you. Happiness is also part of this whole picture and this whole puzzle. That's part of being healthy. Mental well-being is health, and health is wealth. So if that's what makes you happy, hey, more power to you. Next thing that people are cutting back on is gas. So maybe the high gas prices are a good thing. If you're just someone that goes to work and back, or take your kids to school and back, and you try not to waste gas, then it's not a good thing, right? You want lower gas prices. But what about all the unnecessary traveling and cars that you hear the engine revving up and they're just wasting gas? Is there a plus side to it? People often say I don't have much good news. Well, maybe there is a plus side to high gas prices. Maybe less people wasting gas. What do you think about that? Let me know down in the comments. Is there any plus side to these high gas prices? The next thing was TV or film streaming. People are cutting back, and we told you entertainment items, definitely would be in there because it's not necessary. Of course, we want to be entertained, and that's part of people being happy. The stadium's packed here in San Diego. Padres are in the playoffs, and people ask me, why do I talk about sports? Well, that's entertainment spending. That's a huge part of your household budget is entertainment. When you look at it, the streaming services, cable TV, even internet, a lot of people, entertainment. Others, it's necessary. People work at home, of course. But the Padres stadium packed. People are crazy about the Padres here being in the playoffs. Will they beat the Dodgers? I don't know. I don't really care. I don't keep up with it that much. But as far as spending goes, people are still going to spend money no matter what. I was talking to a friend of mine who has season tickets to the Padres, and this is someone that rents, and they've just given up on the idea of ever affording a home here in San Diego, so they're just spending money on whatever. Padres tickets, season tickets, taking their kids to Disneyland each year. Some people just want to do that. They want to have fun. They don't care about the long-term repercussions of unnecessary spending. And to each his own. I'm not here to tell anybody what to spend their money on or what not to spend their money on. I'm just kind of painting the picture of where a lot of consumers are at. The last thing here on this list where consumers are cutting back is music or podcast streaming. I don't pay any subscription to any music streaming service. I love listening to music. I just go on YouTube. Pretty much any song you can ever want to listen to is on YouTube, and it's there for free. You might have to watch an ad or something like that. But wow. And also on the TV streaming thing, Netflix is coming out with a $6.99 plan now because people are cutting back. They're coming out with this lower price plan. All you have to do is watch some commercials. So it's kind of like one of those other apps where you just have to watch commercials. It's free. Like one's called Freevee, the other's called Tubi, the one that I know about. I'm sure there's probably dozens or hundreds. But those are the places and areas where people are cutting back. Please let me know where you are cutting back. And that brings me to my next topic. We were talking at the beginning about my allergies, and I talked here about how I'm having some allergies. My eyes are kind of red. Also had some skin problems, some rashes. I decided to analyze my diet and figure out what I was drinking or consuming or eating every day. One of those things was coffee. For years, love coffee. So I decided to cut back, but that caffeine crutch is what I call it, the caffeine crutch that I need, especially midday after you maybe eat lunch or something and you're kind of dragging through the day. You need that boost of coffee. I started taking these capsules, $10 for a whole bottle here, 60-day supply. And this is called Time Release Energy Boost. They have natural caffeine based out of having kola nut, guarana, bee pollen, green tea extract, Korean ginseng, right? So these actually have done the trick. And I just realized, even if you're only spending $2 a day on a cup of coffee, that's like 700 something dollars a year, 365, yeah, 700 something dollars a year just on one drink. If you spend $2 a day, some people spend more. Some people are $3, $4, $5 a day, $6 a day just on coffee. You're talking about thousands of dollars a year on one drink per day. And I have essentially replaced coffee with these, and so far they're working. $10 for a bottle, and that may not seem like a lot. You're saving $700 a year. If you're spending $3 or $4 or $5 a day, then you're talking about thousands of dollars a year. And it may not seem like a lot by itself, but do that in 10 different areas, and now maybe you're saving $3,000 to $7,000 a year just on cutting back on one item. And so far, these have given me the boost that I've needed. And I didn't start doing this to save money. I did that to see if it would help my allergies and my skin issues by avoiding coffee. Maybe not. I mean, so far it seems to be helping my allergies. And I want to thank one of my viewers here on this channel. I mentioned, hey, I got allergies. This is why my eyes are red. I didn't want people to think I was, doing anything like that, coming on here under the influence, anything like that. And somebody recommended drink nettle tea, and I've been doing that for a few days, and that actually is making me feel a lot better. Still not 100% back to normal, but it's definitely helping. Could be that. It could be the coffee that I'm avoiding. Couldn't imagine being allergic to coffee, but I'm going to try anything to help myself feel better. And so thank you to the viewer that recommended that. Actually, I had bought in that tea a few years ago, just never thought to start drinking it. And I remember I bought it because someone else had recommended it, and I just kind of put it on the shelf, just forgot about it. But I'm feeling better, so thank you to the person that recommended that down in my comments. That's why I love this channel. I love seeing your comments. I love interacting with you when I can. And thanks everybody for giving me the support that helps me keep this channel going, helps keep me motivated to keep on putting out more content. Thank you very much. I'm here in my front yard, by the way. This is the bush that separates my house from the neighbor's house. And it's kind of nice to have a little privacy. Houses in my area are very, very close together. And you see that with a lot of suburbs in San Diego. Not much privacy. Unless you are buying land with more acreage, you're going to have neighbors pretty close. Not to the point yet where I can buy a big piece of land here in California. I hope to get to that point at some point. I hope to get to that level. And maybe when the housing market corrects more, I'll be able to get to that level. Right now, it's pretty close quarters here. And the insurance companies, though, the home insurance companies are in some cases, forcing their customers to cut down trees and bushes and shrubs within 100 feet. They call it 100 feet defensible space around their home because of the fires. And if my company ever does that, I don't know if I could get rid of these bushes in this tree out here, because it's very nice for privacy. It also gives shade to part of the house, gives shade to where we park our cars at, the big tree over here. And it's better for energy when your house is not as hot, when you have shade around your house. So I hope that doesn't happen, but insurance companies are doing that. Why am I talking about that? Well, insurance, especially home insurance in California, is a huge part of most people's budgets, especially if you own a home. So interesting times, folks. Now let's talk about one more thing before we wrap it up here, and this is Tesla. And this should be a lesson to anyone that looks at the stock market and is thinking about or is investing. Tesla's down 50% from its high. November of last year, over $400. Now it's just hovering right around $200. And you would think with gas prices, electric vehicles would be the thing that Tesla would be taking off and be, you would think it would be beyond its all-time high, but even the demand now for electric vehicles with the high gas prices is no competition for what? Low interest rates, right? So with interest rates rising now, the markets being support being pulled back for these markets, it's harder to borrow money and it's harder to afford that monthly payment. It's hurting vehicle sales and it's hurting the housing market. It's hurting automobile sales. There is still that supply crunch. If it weren't for the supply crunch, car prices would be plunging right now. They would be plunging because of the drop off in demand because of those higher interest rates. Isn't it interesting that a company like Tesla, electric vehicles you would think would be skyrocketing, fundamentals are basically thrown out the window because it's all about easy money, low interest rates, people borrowing money to buy things they don't have. That's what props up stocks and the economy as a whole. All right, so Tesla down 50%. What do you think about that, especially during these times with the high gas prices? Another thing, please let me know down in the comments. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to wrap this one up. Appreciate you being here. Bye for now. Keep stacking.